Hi, welcome to the channel. This is Moyna Bass Fishes. I'm Jim Moyna, and in this video we are going to talk about the Champions Tour Championship here in 2023, held on East and West Rush Lakes by Rush City in Minnesota. All right, let's first of all, I finished 8th place out of the championship field of 32 anglers. That it was in the money, and unfortunately, it's just not where I wanted to be. Um, any of the top 3 or 4 spots, I guess, would have been better. First, obviously, was much preferred. Congratulations to the champion, Noah Schultz. I don't know anybody who's won 3 championship tournaments in a row, but that's what this gentleman has done on this tour. And he's won one other championship. Out of the 7 years that the Champion Tour has been going, I think he's won 4 of the 7 championships. And 3 of those 4 were the last 3 consecutive years in a row. I don't know how many guys have done that, but he has done that. And the thing of it is, going into this year, into this championship, I was like bound and determined. I like the guy. I don't know him that well or that much, but I like how he presents himself around other anglers. So the little bit I know of him, I do admire and like what I see. I've seen he was on Bass Talk Live, which is a YouTube podcast with Matt Pangret. I saw him last winter, I think it was, on that, and I like what I saw there. So, and anybody that pushes me to be a better angler and gives me a hell of a challenge, I like that as well. So put him in the class of that, where this is the type of angler that's going to push me, is going to challenge me, and makes it all worthwhile. But going into this championship, I was bound and determined, dang it, I'm going to make damn well sure I win this tournament so he doesn't do it again. And you know what? He blew the field away. And then I was like, and of course, I was nowhere near what he did. I think I had like almost 29 pounds for my total of. It's an all-you-can-catch, every fish counts format. So I had like 14 fish for like about 29 pounds, whereas he had 40 fish for like 80 pounds. So obviously he was in a whole nother class by himself. I think second place was like, it was like in the 50s for poundage. So Noah was in a class all by himself, for sure. So I finished 8th place, and Rush Lake is a dirty water lake, which I love fishing dirty water lakes when it gets to this time of year. And you're not fishing more than 5 or 6 feet deep pretty much for the most part, and I love that. I absolutely love that. But I just didn't get on the fish like he did. I did get on some fish to finish where I did. It was a championship field of 32, so you got anglers that had to qualify to get into it. The main field of anglers was 65 anglers, so we cut it down to 32 for this. So you had to have some kind of ability to at least get to the championship. And out of those, I guess I got 8th place. Thankfully, I nearly didn't finish even that. I was nearly finished less than that. With 5 minutes to go in the tournament, I caught my biggest fish. It was 315. Caught it with 5 minutes to go, and really gave me some life too, man. I caught that, and I knew that put me up into the check range, and I knew with another catch of any, of a pound and a half scoreable bass was going to earn me like another $800-900. So man, that was an intense last 5 minutes after I caught. The whole day is intense. If there's one attribute that I possess when it comes to tournament fishing is I have a tenacity uh, that's got to be top of the field or close, matched by only a few. That tenacity is what does it for me, for sure. Hey, that's that's my sister. You want to say hi to anybody? She, she's one of those pesky water skier types, but we put up with her anyways.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's why I'm staying at her house because she lives not too far from Rush Lake. So, but Rush Lake is it's a cool lake to fish. It's got muskies. It's got big pike. The muskies, I caught like three of them while I was there. Caught a couple big pike, over 10 pounds each. A bunch of other pike. So if you like pike fishing, it's cool. It's got a lot of I didn't catch any crappies, but I could see them on the Lowrance Active Target. So there's plenty of crappies, and it's a really fertile lake. It's got walleyes. Caught a few walleyes while I was there. So it's a cool lake. So, but back to the strategy. So, how did I strategize this? Well, when I look at a lake with a lot of fertility, um, it's like I look at the weed situation and how much are they going to be using the weeds? How much are they not going to be using the weeds? So, on Rush Lake, I saw there was a lot of rock. There's a lot of rock in that lake. So I kind of attacked the rock hard to begin with. I practiced for 5 days on a small. It's not even that big. I mean, for 5 days, that's a lot of time for the amount of water that I had to deal with, because collectively there might have been, um, I don't know, 2,500 acres to deal with, maybe 3,000 at the most. So, but there was a lot of flats, a lot of shoreline for that size of acreage. But still, in 5 days, I pretty much covered dang near everything. But apparently not everything, because there's some certain weed flats Noah Schultz was fishing that I had no idea had fish on them. But anyways, I spent a lot of time on the rocks trying to find schools of fish. That's kind of what I do with these all-you-can-catch tournaments. I try to find patterns where there's schools of fish. So where you pull up to a spot, you catch several fish in one spot, and I never found that. And talking to Noah after the tournament, for example, he had one fairly small size weed patch where he told me he caught 15 bass. It's like that's what you got to have. You got to have um, so many times, not every tournament, but in so many of these all you can catch tournaments, you got to have a place where you can pull up and just pull fish in one after another to some degree, and that's what he had. He had one place like that, but other than that, he was picking. Sounds like he was picking them off one here, one there. Other than that one patch, so and even then, if you took that one patch away from him, I think he probably still would have won. So did a hell of a job of executing and unraveling this lake. So but back to my fishing. So I looked at these rocks, and the rock pattern wasn't there for me. Uh, I mean, there's tons of rock out there, and really the first, actually in the first, like the third rock spot I checked out, I did catch a few, and they're decent fish, but there was only caught a few other rock fish the rest of the time, and I fished a ton of rock out there, everything I could find. So I kind of just dismissed that. So that left me with lily pads and milfoil clumps and eelgrass clumps and bulrushes and docks. So between that, it turned it so I had a punching rig with a 3/4 ounce um, Texas rig creature, chatterbaiting. That was another thing. Um, all-terrain jig fishing. That was another one. And then a Nico rig. Uh, Senko was another one, and a Nico rig uh, ringworm type bait was another bait that I used. And what really worked for me, what now what?
Speaking of bait, Bridgeford, thank you for the best Christmas hams ever. They're fantastic. That's all I have to
All
say.
right. All right. Well, good job plugging the sponsors. That's great. So, well, the reason why she says that is, Bridgeford right here, they send Christmas hams out to their employees and the Fishing Pro staff. And I'm telling you what, man, those hams, everybody just loves those hams. So I always have them send the ham here to my sister's place, and she's the one that prepares it. And it's a hell of a job. I mean, it tastes awesome, awesome tasting ham. But anyhow, so back to how I was catching them. I ended up catching 14 fish, 7 in the first half of the day, 7 in the second half of the day, and it was primarily in the morning. It was a lot of pad flipping. Was primarily my main bait with the creature bait, and then in the afternoon it was primarily dock fishing. Although I had one pad fish, but it was mainly docks. And what happened, and this is kind of a lesson to be learned on dock fishing. Um, Earlier in the year when we went to Big Stone, I I, I, I figured out the fish were on the shoreline side of the docks more than off the deep ends of the docks, so that's what I keyed on. And at Rush Lake, I made a mistake, and the mistake was I tried to fish the whole dock instead of just fishing the high percentage part of the dock. And and from what I've seen and from what I could tell, the water was kind of lower than normal. And normally, what that does, that makes the deep ends of the docks, the key part of the dock, and that was the key part of the dock. But for some reason, I was thinking, well, I'll fish the deep part of the dock, but I'll also fish the shallow part of the dock, thinking guys uh, may have missed or skipped over the shallow parts of the dock, and there'll be some fish there that I can pick off. But that didn't work out. I think I would have been much better off just fishing the deep ends of the docks and then moving on to the next dock rather than throwing at every dock post all the way up to shore. That only paid off with like maybe 2 fish. Whereas had I just worried about the deep ends, I probably would have been presenting my bait to more fish, even though there was more pressure off the deep ends, as there typically are in our Minnesota dock fishing patterns. But again, it would have been probably to my benefit to do that, because the very last fish I caught, like I mentioned, that 315 I caught her. That was off. That was on a very long dock, and it was right off the end of it. Um, and at the very end of the day, I mean, I don't know, who knows how many guys had fished that dock already, because these lakes weren't that big. Everything that could get hit got hit. That was visible cover, meaning docks and reeds and pads. Everything that could get hit got hit pretty much. So I'm sure that dock had been hit once or twice already, maybe even more. But there it was. It coughed up a 315 for me. So had I decided to just key on the best parts of the docks, I think I could have caught more than just 7 fish in that second half of the day. So I'm a little. I kind of wish I would have just realized that. I mean, hindsight, it's 2020. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, all that, blah blah blah. But just bass fishing is live and learn, and that's what I'm doing, living and learning, loving it, loving the lifestyle. It's a great lifestyle, fishing bass tournaments and that, and the group of guys that I compete against in the Champions Tour, and the staff that puts it on. It's one of my favorite things to do. I love fishing here in Minnesota. I love the people that put it on, do a great job, and the guys I fish against they give me a challenge, um, and I like that. The bigger the challenge, the better the feeling when you do conquer that challenge. So that's what I live for. Is you know, con- you know, I don't. A big challenge is that's taking on a big challenge and conquering it is just an awesome feeling. So, and it's been a while since, it's been a long time since I've won a tournament. I can't, it's been a long time. Whether I'm not talking the national tournament because that's been forever, but even like a tournament in Minnesota, even though I don't do a lot, uh, it's still, it's been a while. But anyhow, what else do I got to say? There was one other cool thing I was going to mention, but I just want to thank I want to thank the guys that gave me shout outs when they're on stage talking. There were some nice things said about me, and I appreciate that, you guys. That means a lot when you these are younger competitors. They get up there and they go right on stage and they say, yeah, it was so and so and so and so, and then they throw my name in there, and these are the guys that inspired me, and I strive to be like them, or strive be like them but even better than them. And so when they say that, that's really hits me right here, and it makes me want to come back and fish those guys. And then when the tournament staff comes up to me and tells me, Jim, we really appreciate you coming out here. It really means a lot that you show up for our tournaments. I mean, I love that. Love that, to hear that. It makes me feel like it's all worthwhile, for sure. So, boy, I've been going on and on now. We got to do, this is my new boat, Ranger Z519. We got to do a walkthrough on that baby yet. She's got a little dust on her. You probably can't see that. It's white writing "wash me" because it needs a good wash. Because I've driven it down several dusty dirt roads now. But anyhow, thanks you guys for watching and taking in this channel. I always hope I entertain to some level, and I always hope you guys might learn something, pick up something, and then from YouTube I get to be paid by making these things. So hopefully it's a win-win for everybody. And the more you people that watch and all that, the more YouTube pays me. So as long as you guys are watching, I'll be making these and getting a little bit from YouTube. So thanks for watching, you guys. And I don't have many tournaments left this year. I got the U.S. Open out in Nevada, which Bridgeford's bringing us out there again this. It's been a few years that they haven't brought us out there. But they're bringing some of us. Some of the other guys couldn't make it, but some of the team will be out there. I think Luke Lawson will be out there. Joe Uribe Jr. will be out there. Myself and maybe our new guy Brian Partek. He might be there. So we got that. September's full of sponsor obligations, because you got that. There's part of that in pro fishing. So I got some stuff with all-terrain tackle to do this month. I got some stuff with blackfish to do this month. I've got a special guide trip for a sweepstakes winner that Bridgeford hosted, a sweepstakes. So I got that to do. It'll be a busy month. Hopefully I can get up to the home base and do some fun fishing up there in the meantime as well, a few days. So anyways, that's enough from me for tonight. Over.